the coach. His name was Dustin Felder, because remember, it was an acting class I had never done. So he was like, stand-up comedy is your into the industry.
Of all the teachers, I said the one guy that really made an impact that was palpable and tangible and gave me a different outlook was Bill Hall.
My dad, he's been in law enforcement for over 20 years. He taught like the 4 rules of gun safety.
It was always the mess, but like right out of the gate, it was Carter and Keith Hernandez. Those were the guys.
You know, I just want to say thank you. I've been watching you since I was a kid. Like I watched the Chappelle Show, and we would recite that shit all the time.
It surprised me how much I enjoyed. I coached my daughter's softball team this year. It was one of the best times of my life.
I dedicated this to Angela because I would not have done any of the stuff that I've been doing had it not been for her.
Sup? Welcome to episode number 154 of the People We Love podcast. I am Adam Choid. For more about this show, please check out peoplewelovepodcast.com. That's peoplewelovepodcast.com. Please be sure to subscribe on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. Please subscribe on YouTube. That's definitely appreciated too. AdamChoid.com for all my other stuff. I am at Adam Choid on Instagram and Twitter if you'd like to follow me. Today we have Chicago's own filmmaker Daniel Romano, martial artist himself. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers has always been a huge part of his life since elementary school. Inspired by the relatability and the fun of the original series, Daniel has always been the creative one in his family amongst his 4 other siblings. We talk family, we talk Power Rangers, we talk his Morphin Origins film project, and all about Daniel's all-time favorite character, Tommy Oliver, originally the Green Ranger, portrayed by the late Jason David Frank. And Daniel tells me all about how special it was to have the chance to connect with Jason a number of times over the years. But let's just get started. Here's Daniel Romano. Okay, so it's good to see you today, Daniel Romano. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, Adam. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. How are you holding up during whatever year this is?
I'm doing pretty good.
That's good. Where are you located?
I'm in Chicago.
And is that where you born and raised? Or I don't know very much about you, so this will be an interesting journey for me.
Yeah, Chicago born and raised, and I've traveled, but just mostly been here.
Are you in this, like, where in Chicago are you? You don't have to dox yourself, but it is a big city and metropolis, if I'm using that word correctly.
No, I'm about 20 minutes from the city, depending on traffic. Sometimes 40, but I'm in the suburbs.
In the suburbs, and you grew up in the suburbs.
Yeah.
We could get into what was the name of the town you grew up in, and tell me a little bit about your, I guess, family background and where you grew up, and we could get into some of the history.
It's Oak Brook, but that's where I've been mostly. Then at one point Hinsdale, and then now back to Oak Brook again. So, what do you mean by family life?
Yeah, well, did you have siblings?
Oh yeah, I'm the oldest of 5.
You're the oldest of 5. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I just had Ben Weir on, and he was the oldest of 5 as well. That's hilarious. That's funny. So I'm definitely curious about the dynamic. Do you know all their names and the order?
Yeah, it's me, Dan, Donald, Malia, Elizabeth, and Alex.
So you have a brother and 3 sisters. Did I get that right?
2 sisters.
2 sisters.
2 sisters and 2 other brothers.
And the brothers are was it in? So you had I need like a family tree. The second oldest were who again?
Me, Don, Amalia, Elizabeth, and Alex.
Alex.
He's the youngest.
Gotcha. Okay. Wow. So what's the dynamic like with that? Like, what do you remember? Do you remember a time before they before they existed when it was just you?
Or before time? No, that was only for a year, maybe. But no, like Not really. Wish I did. No, they were kind of always there, you know.
Right.
He had us kind of quick. My mom. It was a year after.
What's the dynamic like with you as the oldest? Like Ben was talking a little bit about like being the troublemaker and some other things, and them like seeing what he was doing from afar. What was like the role as the oldest sibling?
I was mostly the first to do everything. Still not the first to get married or anything yet. That was my sister. But I'm still the first to go to school, first to um, try to first to drive, first to what else? Just first to do everything. You know, I was the test subject or whatever, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Did your siblings look up to you? Were they jealous that you were able to do all these things first? Did they want some of the freedoms or whatever that you got? Like, what was the dynamic?
Yeah, for the most part. So,
Gotcha.
like when they see I do something, they wanted to do it too and learn it. And so we're all different, but we, just when I put it, just they saw what I was doing, then they just wanted to join in at some point.
Right. What were you like even in like elementary school age? What kind of stuff were you into? I mean, we'll get into the Power Rangers stuff and all that, but maybe that came in then because
That hasn't really changed.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, see, I don't know all the timelines. I know that I'm 95, 99 to 100% sure I'm a little bit older than you, and I do remember when the Power Rangers, like that whole, I think, franchise is what you would call it, I think, like came out. But did you come into the fandom like after when it came into existence? Probably later, I'm guessing.
No, I've been there since day one. It came out in '93. So
Right, 93. Gotcha. And what did it? And it was a cartoon first, and that was when you were in. Is that when we were in elementary school? I'm born in '82. I'm 42. I'm gonna just say.
Oh, really? You don't look 42. You look younger.
Yeah, SoCal, Southern California keeps you young. That's what I credit it to, and a few other things too. But nevertheless, no. So so you were in elementary school, aged in around 93 is well, if I'm doing my math correctly.
Yeah, I was 6 when it came out in '93. So, and it was a live action show, and for me, I was the weird kid. I always liked the monsters in it. I mean, I like the Rangers later on, but I was always I liked the villains. The villains were cool.
Why did villains? I mean, because you just said that they were cool, but was it something even beyond that appealed to you about the villains in the Power Rangers?
I mean, visually they're all creative and cool to look at. So it's like, I like they're all different and just cool. And I like some of them. They're usually the most interesting and have the most interesting backstories. So I like seeing that, and I like seeing the different monster designs.
Right, that's an important thing in storytelling, is making the villains formidable enough, smart enough, and somewhat like oddly sometimes likable in a way, and interesting and unique. I'm thinking about the Super Mario Brothers, like all the Koopa family especially from like Super Mario Brothers 3, and those were in the movie, and I didn't really know much about the movie. I guess before it came out and I saw trailers and stuff, but even before going into the Super Mario Brothers movie, I kind of was hoping that it was going to be like all the kids were going to be like different points in the story, like levels, or like it was going to be more of like an actual video game with like levels, and those personalities from the different Koopas would become part of the thing. But yeah, villains it's interesting how villains are can be captivating too. But tell me in detail what about like what it was like to first discover the Power Rangers series. You said you caught wind of a live action thing.
It's a live action show, yeah, and for me, I just it was different than anything because it was I was there for just like the ending of Ninja Turtles. Like I like the Ninja Turtles, but Power Rangers, it like that was just ending the cartoon, and then just Power Rangers came right in, and I was just drawn to it. because everything about the music, the fighting, the monsters, the Zords, just everything about it. It was like, and it was all practical too, which I love, the practical effects and stuff, and that's what drew me in, and still keeps me drawn in. So,
what is the like origin story or the basic premise of the Power Rangers, like the original series that drew you in?
Yeah, the story is 2 astronauts release Rita Repulsa out of a dumpster. Zordon summons 5 teenagers with attitude to become Power Rangers to fight Rita and her monsters.
Wait, say that again slower. I was like, what?
Sorry. Okay. So 2 astronauts release Rita Repulsa from a space dumpster.
Who and
for
who
10,000 years ago.
You got to slow it. You got to see. We got to break
Even
that
more.
No, not literally your speech, but explain who those people are and what those things are. So 2 astronauts have to.
They accidentally release Rita.
Accidentally release what?
Rita Repulsa.
And who or what is that?
She's the main villain for season 1, and she's the evil space witch.
Okay, so they accidentally released. So they had her captive or something to protect. So how did they accidentally release her? Is that not even important information?
There's a little diamond thing on the dumpster. They click in, then they're just idiots. And it's like, why would you touch this random thing in space? You don't even know what it is. And
right, like me touching. I just like to press buttons and touch things when whatever. Anyway, okay,
pretty much.
Okay, so they release her, and then what happens after that?
Zordon, the other space wizard mentor thing, who's a giant floating head, summons. He chooses 5 teenagers with attitude to fight Rita and her attacks on Earth.
Is there a specific reason why? Maybe I'm going to overanalyze this. That is certainly going to happen.
That's totally cool.
Yeah, I figure that's what you're into, and maybe why we're here in a lot of ways. But why 5 teenagers specifically for this?
It's they're taking it from Japanese footage, so they had to get 5 with 5. So that's the best explanation I could.
Right. It does almost seem like a similar, and I'm sure it sounds like obviously it was an inspiration. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was originally Japanese as well, or no? Maybe it wasn't.
I don't think so. No, I think it's all American original.
Right. It just has Japanese characters and some storylines in it. Right.
Shredder and Splinter. So, yeah.
Right. So there are some similarities. Obviously, it's teenagers, and I'm guessing these Power Rangers, they want to capture the villain. Is the goal ultimately of this?
Basically, yeah.
Do they fight crime and try to do virtuous things and rescue people along the way? Is that like what
kind of? Yeah. The nice thing about what the show used to do was it was based on just your local community. Like it was all local, and they would help. They would help with small charities or help with just around the town, which was really cool, and do like recycling drives and what was another thing? Just random things outside, like because they were in high school, so they would do random things outside of school to help out, which was cool. But then later on, they started not doing that. And then the message got in the way. Now that's what, in my opinion, killed the show now. But in the old days, it wasn't like it was mostly just help out your local community and just try and do good, around there.
What did you say got in the way of the show? I guess later that didn't.
It went woke. The messaging, instead of it being about action and adventure, it chose to do things that nobody cares about.
But ultimately, even when you say action, whether that's fighting villains, you meant in terms of action as well as like helping the community. I'm chat GPTing some Power Ranger stuff right now as we speak. But that's what you mean by taking action. You mean actually like helping the community beyond like just superhero stuff, because
because it was an action show, but they later stopped hiring martial artists, and that I think is another thing that killed it. Because in the old days, in season 1, it was all martial artists and gymnasts, like Amy Jo Johnson. She was gymnastics. David Yost, he did gymnastics, and then Jason David Frank, Walter, they were all martial artists in some form, or did dance and that, but they stopped doing that.
One of the iconic aspects of Power Rangers, their ability to morph from civilian identities into superhero forms. The transformation typically grants them enhanced strength, agility, and access to special suits and weapons. And each of the 5 characters had different talents, I guess.
Yeah. Like there was a nerd, there was a girly girl, there was a tomboy, there was the leader. I mean, again, they were all martial artists, but they were, just different variations. And Kimberly was the girly girl, and I don't know. Not sure if that's making sense, but yeah.
No, I could see.
I could
see. Yeah, no, I could see the relatability and some of the demographics that they're trying to, cover with their characters. Did you have a favorite Power Ranger?
Tommy.
Oh, and of course he was played by Jason David Frank. Tommy starts off as the evil Green Ranger controlled by Rita Repulsa, but later joins the Power Rangers and becomes a key member. He also becomes the White Ranger and leads the team.
Yep.
After Jason. And this is all from the original series.
Mm-hmm.
Were there in different like how did
there were 3 seasons of Mighty Morphin, yeah.
I see 93 to 2010, and then 2011 to 2021, and then 2021 to 2023. So 3 different, like, what, I don't know if installments is the right word.
2010, a lot of fans, myself included, don't really like to talk about, because that was one of the worst times in the show's history, because basically they tried to reimagine it, but they put in stupid Batman 60s effects that had nothing to do with the show, and it just ruined it. So it was a dark time in 2010.
Yeah, I see. I'm learning. I'm learning the important history. Tell me about Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger, White Ranger. Why is he your favorite? Why was he your favorite, or is your favorite?
Because just a lot of it was just seeing how he moved, and it's like it was one of those, you see that dude and you're like, hey, I want to be that cool. I see what he's doing. I want to copy that. Like that's cool. And just I've known, before he died, I knew him since 2005. So I have a long history with him. He was really cool. So, and I just liked his character was the most interesting of them. Like the struggles he went through, the his fight scenes were all, like, every fight you watch with him, it's a joy to watch. Like, it's cool. It's like, wow, you're seeing someone. Like, every time they let him show off, it was like, yes, please, more of this. And just he had the coolest suits too, like the Green Ranger suit. I love the Green Ranger suit. I love the White Ranger suit, the Red Zeo suit, which actually I got the helmet here if you want to see that. And then Dino Thunder Black is cool too. So
he was cool, but he also had some different challenges and struggles as a character. I'm looking at some of those. He ultimately became the leader, so that was something he was struggling with as a character, and the personal identity and self-doubt. I'm just looking at some of the stuff that's coming up online.
And that stuff I deal with too. I deal with it, but I think everyone deals with it too. It's like, oh, like, it's okay, like it's okay to sit, like, it's I think it's cool to see that struggle, and like that's how I relate to it, so.
You said you had a relationship with the actor in real life, Jason.
Oh yeah, I knew him a long time.
Yeah, tell me how that all came together. When did you meet this person? Because he was an actor while you were in elementary school watching this. So did you go to conventions? Like, tell me about like how that all came about.
Yeah, my first convention I saw him at was in 2008. But what's funny is I used to call his karate school Rising Sun Karate in 2005, but I'm not sure if you put 2 and 2 together that I was the same guy who called. But anyway, I first met him since 2008, but ever since then, every con he was at, I would try to go to and talk to him. And he knew my name. He knew me as soon as he saw me. He recognized me. So that was really cool. And just we talked about. I helped him one time at a convention do like he would do martial arts there with crowds of people, and I would help him with that. Or that it was one time I helped him, but it was cool either way too. So
Yeah, for sure. So you were watching him since like the early, mid 90s, but you hadn't met him until the mid 2000s, like 2000, would you say 5 or 6 or something like that?
2008.
Okay, so that must have been like a big deal if you were a fan for that long.
Oh yeah.
First, yeah. Do you remember the first time meeting him?
I was so nervous when I first met him, but he was cool. And then after that, just it became like just regular. Like I was like, "Hey, Jason. Hey, and hey, Dan." And it was cool.
Yeah, it's almost like he becomes your acquaintance, a friend, or something like that. And so they say like don't meet your heroes, or don't meet your whatever whatever. But it sounds like that you didn't have that experience with him. That it was all positive.
Yeah. It wasn't one of those don't meet your heroes. It was absolutely meet this dude. He's a great dude, and he'll talk to anybody, and he would always he would go till the end. He would what's it like, while every other guest at a con was leaving, and like he had the longest lines. He would wait till the con closed and just sign every last person. He would actually again take the time to talk with you. He didn't care how long the line was. He would still make time for you. It was really cool. And he appreciated because I would dress up as his Rangers, and he would appreciate that.
Yeah, that's very cool. Was he similar to his character at all? Did you notice some overlap between his personality and the character? Was there any similarities?
Some ways, yeah.
What were those?
I definitely know some more now, but there's just the struggles, I guess. He was always a bit fighting with himself, which I can relate to that too. I always have inner conflicts with myself, but it's
What was it about? I mean, I guess what was it about Power Rangers specifically that drew you in? Even because it sounds like this was like your favorite show and your favorite subculture, I guess, is a word I can use to be a part of more than anything from elementary school. And we're going to get into a little bit as you get older and whatnot too. But why Power Rangers? I guess maybe you spoke to a little bit. But why Power Rangers over all other forms of entertainment, or maybe whatever?
That's a good question. It's been one constant. Like, even though the show's basically canceled and off the air now, it's been one thing that's always been there in some shape or form. It was always in the background. It was always like, even when there were a couple times, like I'd say like 7th or 8th grade, I wasn't no, take that back. 6th grade and 5th grade, I'd say I wasn't watching it, but really I was secretly watching it. And it was just because in those days you were made fun of if you watched it, but now just in high school and college nobody cared, and even nowadays no one cares if you like it or watch it. It's if anything it's celebrated. It's like, oh, good for you. But in those days you kind of had to hide it, but now, as I said, it's just always been there, where people have come and gone, and like death, obviously, like just it's always been there, and it's gotten me through the worst times and the best. It's been there for everything, basically. It's been there through the good times and the bad times, and it's gotten me through a lot of it. So, but I wake up to it, I work out with it, I sleep it. It's one of those type of things. Like it's gotten me, like, to how I met Forest Mommy. It helped me guide to her and help me like give confidence and do things to. Like, even doing this now, I'd be nervous or whatever, but because of that, the show, it's given me like a thing of confidence to help out and just do what I love, and just to explore different avenues of myself. So
that's super.
I'm kind of artsy and creative, so it helps with every dynamic of me. And as it just like as I work out to it, it's a different parts of me. It helps. So.
That's awesome. That's super cool. And like, I'm looking at how many episodes there are there from. It looks like, I mean, there's hundreds of episodes at the very least, and like so many themes were probably explored.
Yeah, that's yeah. It goes through everything, and that's again, it helps in certain way, like because I mean, not so much the last few episodes, like seasons haven't been so, but the rest of them in the old days were you could find something to relate to, and you could um like just there was always something to come back to with it. Like I always find myself coming back to certain seasons, and it's just um that's like people take it off as a silly kid show, but really, if you watch, they're like I can recommend some good seasons that like it's not, it's more than that. You just people have to wanna see it and give it time, and like it's like no, there's something here, and you gotta appreciate it for it's like people with like like sports teams. Like I don't like every sports team, but if someone has it and it's gotten through them certain things, it's like okay, I'm not gonna knock it. It's like it's your thing. So
We're all
does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. I feel like because I mean I don't know anything about Power Rangers, but I like you said sports. Like I feel like I'm not a jock, probably because I've never been good enough at sports to be dubbed that. But like I'm love being a fan of baseball. I've been a fan my whole life, but I feel like I'm more of a baseball nerd or a baseball dork than I am a jock. Like I feel like I'm just a nerd or a dork and about my own thing. And it's funny to hear you talk about like not wanting to or not watching Power Rangers as much in 7th, 8th grade, middle school, or watching in secret. It's just funny to think about like all of our stupid insecurities, living in our insular worlds, caring about like what our schoolmates will think of us if we do something or like something that's remotely perceived as uncool. I was even thinking about like wrestling. Like I was into wrestling like in elementary school, and then it was almost like coincidental that the WWF became not as good. I would say not as good around the time I was in middle school. So it was becoming not as good and not as cool. But then that whole obviously came back, with Stone Cold Steve Austin and
Yeah.
the WWF's attitude era. So things come and go, but like, I feel like you've gotten a lot out of your loyalty and to this series. What about like through high school? What kind of stuff are you into? Obviously, you're still a Power Rangers fan, but
Yeah,
what,
mostly that hasn't really changed.
yeah, what kind of student were you? Were you into like other like music and other cultural things? Like tell me about like high school age period.
High school. Well, I've never been a fan of school. Even then, like in junior high, we were saying, I like the people, just didn't like the homework or all the teachers. But high school, I had pretty much the same. Like, just didn't like the work. The teachers were annoying, but I liked the people. People were good to me. But was I a good student? Like, no. Like, I just no. Like I had to be interested in like the most interesting ones I was good at was art and history. That was basically it. Those were the ones that interest me the most. Everything else, not so much.
It's interesting to hear people's, academic and high school experiences and school experiences, like where they fit in and how they were academically. And I could find myself being able to relate to like different people who like tried to be or wanted to be friends with different groups and didn't necessarily have a specific friend group or kind of what you were just describing as well. What about where like junior senior year, did you have plans for the future? Are you going to college? Were you thinking about career? Were things up in the air? Where was life kind of headed junior senior year looking into the future?
I kind of knew what I wanted to do by that point, which is filmmaking. It's just, and then I went to college, but that I didn't want to go to college, but I just, it was one of those you have to go, so I went things, but I did it.
Did you finish college? Where did you go to school?
Elmhurst.
Which is where?
It was it's
that's that long ago.
Like
it's in Chicago, or is there in Illinois?
Oh yeah.
So you
It's a small university, I guess. Yeah.
You commuted
Chicago.
or you lived there? Or?
I commuted. Yeah.
You commuted. So what did you enjoy commuting? Did you want to get away from family, or you just like, or was it, sometimes it's just more what's most convenient?
Yeah, it was close. So
you didn't mind staying near family. Is that how everyone in your family did, who I don't know if all your siblings went to college or not, but like if they did they stay in the area, or that they go to schools different places?
Yeah, everyone commuted. We stayed at home. Yeah.
So you guys are pretty close.
Yeah.
And no one did anyone express a desire to go to college, or does everyone still live in the area still too?
Oh yeah, everyone's still here. Yeah.
So your family sounds like you guys all sound like a bunch of Power Rangers. You got 5 of you. You ever think of your siblings as Power Rangers and make them do Power Rangery things? And because
I do, yeah. They dress up for me in my work, so
I'm figuring things out now.
But they're not fans at all. I'm the only fan, but they're good sports about it.
What are they nerds and dorks about?
My 2 are lawyers. No, all of them are lawyers, so they're mostly into that.
Enough said.
Yeah. I'm the only artist, filmmaker, martial artist in the family. So
same thing with talking to Ben Weir last week. He was like, he was the black sheep of his family in a lot of ways too. I don't remember their exact career paths and personalities, but I definitely recall him saying he's like the black sheep, the more creative person who pursued creative endeavors in his family of people who I don't think did. So it's like, I don't know if that's a first. It's like if that's a firstborn oldest child thing or not, but yeah. Are they all what kind of law do they practice, or how are they involved? Because that can be comforting to have lawyers in the family too.
Oh, it's so much.
And helpful.
One did criminal for a while now. The others, one does contracts.
Dude,
the other,
that's great.
Yeah.
Those are the things we need. Write me some shit and get me out of some shit.
They read over all my contracts whenever I get any. They look them over and help me with that. And then the other one, he's I don't really know what he does, but yeah. And then the other one, just I gotta ask him, because some of the stuff I don't ask all the time.
Yeah, it's all legalese to me. Even my dad, who was in business for most of my childhood into my adult life, I would ask him like specifically what he does, and he'd be like, "You're not gonna understand it," and then just like turn on the TV or change the subject.
It's pretty much like that sometimes, yeah. But they'll occasionally explain things.
Right, of course. So what about the I mean, I guess a lot of the passion for filmmaking and the creative arts and things like that came right from Power Rangers and just your general upbringing and experiences.
Yeah, plus if you want to know the film that got me into filmmaking, it was Jurassic Park. It was like I saw that and I was like, hey, I want to do that. I want to like how we shot the rain scene when the T-Rex comes out is like, oh, I want to do that, and I wanted to build the T-Rex and just do that, if that makes sense. Like, be able to create a scene like that, and
It's funny how like certain moments watching film or watching artists do their craft, it's like that's like can be like really profound and pushing us into a certain creative direction. Really changes your life, like a certain guitar riff or a certain scene in a movie or a character from a show. Like it can really capture someone and just like trigger this inner voice to be like, hey, I want to do something in the spirit of this in my life, because this is just so cool and just so moving to see these moving pictures or music or whatever it is. And I mean, really, films and media combines all these things. That's why it's so engaging when you got sound and picture working in conjunction.
Yeah, and then seeing it all together, like doing it, like the process is cool, and just seeing it like how it actually comes together on screen. I think it's all so cool.
No, I hate work. I only want to see the final result. I don't want to go along the journey. And the hard work and the failure and the struggles and the ups and downs. Who wants that? I just want to have the final product and the adulation, if I'm using that word correctly.
Yeah.
Tell me about your 20s and and where we headed personally, professionally, you know, where the Power Rangers and filmmaking fit into your life. I'll kind of let you steer the chronology, and we'll keep going.
Well, let's see. Okay, like so I was in the high school, but like what got me to make the films I'm working on now, I was it was 2005. Revenge of the Sith came out, and I'm a casual of Star Wars, like Marvel, DC, some of those other things, but Revenge of the Sith is what inspired me to make the films I am now, which are about Lord Zed and how he became skinless and just basically almost everything in the Power Rangers universe. Like, the stuff I was talking about Rita before, like how she intertwines in, and then just some other um, things in the Power Ranger universe. That made, like, I thought, if we get that for Vader, how come we can't get this for Lord Zed? So I was like, well, no one else is doing it, so I'll do it. And that's what got me into the films I'm doing now, and I've been working on them since 2009, and they're almost done. Like, that's the one thing about these films. It's not an easy process, but every clip I put on, once I get them all done, it's worth it every time I get a clip out or these films out, because it's not easy, but it's fun to work on at the same time, like just to see it all come together.
So you've been releasing, looks like, short clips of a longer form film or film series or project that is live action continuation of Power Rangers story lore. Is that essentially, am I following that correctly?
Yeah, it's the backstory. So
it's the backstory. And what about, I don't want to get you in trouble, but like, what about like the licensing and stuff? Like, you're not trying to make money off it, or they, like, how does like that work?
No, they're nonprofit, so they're just fan films,
right,
and
fan content.
I'm being careful. Like, some fans use Power Rangers in the name. Me, I don't. My team are Power Warriors. They're the prototype Team Rangers before the Mighty Morphin and all the other Rangers since then. So that's how I get slide past that, because I'm not using that name. I'm using the characters' names, but they're not the same as we saw them on the show. They're all different. They're original. I had to get creative with it. So. And what's funny is some of the comics, they rip me off. Some of the official comic stuff rip me off. They rip off some of my imagery, which is pretty fun. Yeah.
That's a compliment, but also not the coolest thing in the world. It's funny the way or interesting to me to hear you describe, going through that process of making sure you have your I's dotted and your T's crossed. Because I was like, oh yeah, maybe he does have 4 lawyer siblings who've had an influence on him. I can hear that. You're like, I knew not to do this. But did you actually consult your brothers and or sisters to make sure you're navigating, or well, you said you had them do contracts and stuff for you, I'm sure, for creating.
Yeah, they made sure certain things, and I'm always careful with whatever I upload. So I try to be. The toughest thing is the music. Music is the toughest. Everything else I'm not worried with. It's just sometimes the music that's not easy to get away with. But the clips and because occasionally I'll use clips for the show, but those I know how to tweak and edit, and how many seconds you need in, and how to, so you don't get copyright on it. I mean, some they'll still go after me, but it's mostly for music, not so much the clips.
Right. So what is the ultimate form the project is going to take? It's going to be one long feature film. Is that what it's going to be?
It's a trilogy, 3 of them, kind of like Star Wars. So yeah.
And they're going to be all 3 feature length films.
Yeah.
Dude, you need to be more ambitious. You're not ambitious enough.
Well, I'm writing another one now. It's one. I got one more Power Ranger related.
I'm joking, man. That's crazy town. You're making 3 feature length films. That's a trilogy, and this is all shot already.
Most of it.
Most of it.
I had to finish what's left. Which it's just there's a couple more talking scenes and then just mostly action scenes.
Which is in the third.
All three.
All three. So you're filming.
Mm-hmm.
So you're filming all three at the same time because of just the efficiency of doing it that way, based on resources and whatever. And this is all shot in Chicago area.
Yep.
And where are these locations?
I just use whatever's around. Like I use there's a park district not far from me. Occasionally I'll just where else? Like just there's one scene I want to shoot on a bridge around here, so I'm gonna try and do that, and then just wherever I can that's around.
Right. Super cool. I'm looking at like your I guess slash line is what you'd call it. So obviously I see Power Rangers fan and director and some of these and that, but I also see martial artist, I see editor, voice actor, stuntman, choreographer. So I'm curious about some of these other hats that you wear. Like you do martial arts as well yourself.
Yep.
And how long you've been doing that?
Since I was 10.
Dude, you could kick like everyone's ass. Like when you're on like with Forest Mom and I see like 9 people on there. Now I know when I see that you're the dude that can kick everyone's ass on that screen, correct or no?
Well, Paul could probably take me. Like he was
because he's
Navy.
Oh yeah, but
for military he's something, yeah. But he could take me. But
why can someone in the Navy beat up someone who's good
I think
at martial arts?
he was because it's military. It's different. It's different level.
But they don't know martial arts. What do they know? They have weaponry is what they have, but they don't know how to like fucking fight, or do they? Or I guess they do.
They do. Oh yeah, absolutely.
What kind?
But I like Paul. I love. I know. I love Forrest. I wouldn't fight her. I let her kill me. So it'd be one of those things. Like take me to land.
You're hilarious.
It'd be a great death.
So I'm curious about this. So you've been doing the martial arts since you said you were 10. Is that what you said? You say you're 10. At what point do you get like confident? I mean that's like I don't know if that's a loaded question or what, but like that must be very empowering. Did you feel yourself becoming more empowered as you become more skilled and better at self-defense?
A little bit, yeah. Time to time. It comes and goes. Again, like I mean I get happy when I finish a scene or like but yeah, new like when I got my black belt, I was excited. I was like, whoa, that was cool. But again, just the different life things change it, so it comes and goes. You know?
Right. I could see it becoming something that someone like takes for granted, especially. I mean, I guess those skills probably never go away, even if you don't practice, your craft regularly. I guess it's still something you have for life, but it could be something that you forget that's a part of your life because, in a good way, you're not having to use those skills, hopefully, every day. But I could see taking that for granted and forgetting how empowering it is to be able to, be confident in physically defending yourself, even without a weapon if you don't have one on you or whatever.
I mean, I got some nunchucks here.
There you go. No, that's great that you've been sticking with that over the years. Have you ever had to use the martial arts on anyone?
No, thankfully not yet. No.
Have you ever come close where you're like, oh, I'm at, like you see some shit going down, you're like, maybe I gotta get my stance or
possibly, yeah, but usually most things like that never happen. I just do it for show mostly. I'm a showman.
Yeah. Right. I got you. What about some of these other things with the editing, and is that what you do professionally as well?
I do it all. I direct, I choreograph, I stunt, I voice. I do all the voices in my films. That's a majority of them are me. So yeah.
What about do you work for other people as well with any of these skills and talents?
Yeah, if they want me, I'll happily do it.
So are you full time working on this project?
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's super cool that you're able to do that. What else we've been up to these days? Like Besides this project, or in addition, other project work. I mean, this is a monster in itself.
I mean, I'm writing another one, and I'm working on another channel with a really good friend of mine named Star. She's helping me. We help each other. We're working on some stuff for my new channel. It's going to be more in depth behind the scenes of the films I'm working on now. Plus, we're working on some other scenes or other. Well, I shouldn't say it was just other shows, and that's mostly what we're working on.
But mostly all centered around the Power Rangers world, or more broadly superhero stuff, or what kind of?
Yeah, it's gonna be a mix of behind the scenes Ranger stuff, or my films, because I mean, I guess it is Power Rangers, even though it's the villain's backstory. But yeah, and then just it's gonna be I don't want to give too much away, but it's gonna be more skits and fun things, like just slightly different things time to time too. Not exactly all Rangers, but my main channel is mostly where the Ranger stuff is. And
yeah, it seems like everything is Rangers or Rangers adjacent at the very least. It's like that's cool that you're so passionate about this world and all things
it's
related
my thing.
And building your own thing off of this world. And since you've been at this project for a while now, I asked you about the licensing and all that, but have anyone, did Jason David Frank, did he know that you were working on all these other side hustles and not side hustles, but all these other projects, and have other people, officially related to the Power Rangers given their endorsement or support or compliments?
The original voice actor of Lord's Head is the only one who knew. And Karen Ashley is another Ranger she was the second Yellow Ranger. She knows about my work. And then Audrey Dubois, who was pilot episode trainee. Those are the only three. The others don't know. I try to tell them, like at every con I see them at, like I give them my card, like, here, check me out, but they never do.
Yeah, all you can do is put it out there. Like, I'm guessing those who acted on the series over the years and been connected to it have varying degrees of passion about the content itself, from it just being a job to being, maybe some of them are even as passionate or close to as you or some of the fans. So I'm sure there's some varying degrees. And but everyone wants to make money and to make fans happy, of course, too, on top of that. What else anything else you think I should know about your Power Rangers fandom or your relationship to Jason David Frank? If you have any stories about him that you want to tell or think are worth sharing, or anecdotes.
One fun fact is I'm on the official Power Ranger DVDs. They released box sets in, when was it? 2012, 2013. I'm on those box sets. And it actually, here really quick.
And what do you mean on the box sets? Your face, your name, you're in the...
Like I'm on this box set right here, but they asked, I'm in a section called the Fans Power Up. I put my scene on my YouTube channel, but you can see.
Oh, I see. They put like some sort of bonus content, and they use your.
Can you see my name there?
No, but I believe you.
Oh.
So in the artwork in the manual, they use your actual name.
And I was on that. I recorded a few minutes for it, and I did the nunchucks and did some kicks and talked about Jason in it, and they just I'm in 2 minutes of it, but it's a good 2 minutes.
So. I see. So it's just like DVD bonus content kind of stuff, and some of the artwork in the sleeve or whatever.
And back in those, you had to be asked to do it. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, because they knew I was a big fan working. The fan who reached out to me did the stuff for he did the, what's it called, the title cards or the screens. He did the
menus,
the menu for it, yeah. And he asked me if I would like to be on it, and I said, okay, yeah, I'll totally be on these. And that's how it happened. And that was through Facebook.
So, I mean, I'm part of some fan communities for some different things. I'm guessing that you are part of every single online group on whatever platforms that you're on. Are you in every fan group and forum and Twitter group and Facebook like chat? Are you on all the all the Power Rangers groups?
Funny enough, no.
Really?
Yeah, because when I came out for Trump, then I just got blacklisted. They didn't like that one bit, and then I made a joke. There's an actress, a ranger actress, who is a burlesque dancer, and I made a joke about people. I said I posted a meme. She got upset that people were saying, because she's on OnlyFans too, and I made a joke that don't be mad, like start wearing a burqa or just take it as a compliment. I posted a meme of be someone's reasons to masturbate, and everyone got offended by that. But I thought it was hilarious because I mean she's hot. People are like, what do you expect? So, but yeah. So I've been canceled multiple times, in fact, but it's all right. It was worth it. It was a funny joke. So
yeah,
he didn't even see it. He wasn't offended by it. So
you need
but
to
everyone else on Twitter was.
Yeah, I was gonna say you need to start a group, Power Ranger fan, conservative Power Ranger fans, Power MAGA Power, whatever it is going to be. But I'm sure it's just things have changed so much since 1993, you know, and even of course in the 2000s, it just seemed like you probably couldn't even imagine like being a Power Rangers fan and your political views having any sort of like even anything related to those two. Did you ever
because
think
like
that
who
those
cares?
worlds
Who could, you know?
right? Everyone's here.
And I mean,
just
I'm a registered independent, so I don't have a side. They're two sides of the same coin to me. I don't like it when politics interferes with the show, or with both of them. It's don't like. I want my action show. Make these people cool. I don't care who they voted for. Can you just give me a good show? But then they can't do that.
It's funny looking at some of the because I'm chat GPTing. I'm like themes that came, in Power Rangers, the themes in Power Ranger episodes, and I could see which are themes that probably came in more episodes from, let's say, 2013 through 2023 versus 2022 versus like what was the early themes that were, more broadly universal and like you're talking about not woke, and we could dive into all that stuff too. But I'm curious about I kind of ask everyone these kind of like random survey questions. Ghosts, aliens, UFOs, do we believe in these things? Have we had personal experiences with any of these things?
I've seen 2 UFOs once, so I believe.
You've seen 2 UFOs. Speak to that if you'd like.
One was on a clear, also 2010, funny enough, was a clear day. I saw one, it descended down, stood for, like, it was silverish, like it was floating there, but it was metallic and silvery, and then just, it left in an L direction. So it swooped down and then left. And then the other one I saw, it was like an orangey silver orb thing, spinning, and then same thing. It went down and then up, and that was it.
Did anyone
and
else
that was
see?
Nope. I was the only one to see those 2.
How come no one can get video? I guess maybe they do, and it's hard to know what people believe is real and what's. It's hard to know what's real and what's fake, even when you see like really anything these days. Like I see these videos on Instagram of like cats meowing and they're making funny sounds and they almost sound human. Like I'm like, I don't know if that's real or not. Like to be honest with you, internet, but I do believe you, and that's wild. And too many people have reported similar things to make me think that some of them can be, actual UFOs, and it's a strange, wild world out there, my friend.
If I had my phone or camera, I would have recorded it, but I didn't have it at the time. So.
Were you afraid? Were you just too stunned? What were you thinking at these times?
Oh yeah, I just didn't move because I didn't know what to do. Like I didn't know if it was going to do something or take me or what. So I just stood there and then just hoped it would go away, and then went away.
Get tall, like if a bear is about to, You come at you, they really tell you get tall, you stop, drop, and roll, run away. What are you supposed to do when you see a UFO? There's no handbook
No,
for this. Start yelling and screaming, make a lot of noise. Which animal is that good for? Again, this is what I don't know which
fair.
is which. I'm gonna do all the wrong things. I'm gonna be rigged fucking it's all good. What about oh, you know what? I wanted to ask if anyone believed you. Did you tell other people about the UFOs?
Then I don't know if my family believes me on that, but I know what I saw. So
Do some people have you told? Have you and told a lot of people that you know about these experiences?
I've told a couple people, but not too many. But they still like it's not an easy thing to believe unless I had a picture. But they're like, oh, okay, sure.
Right, exactly. It's like I mean, I do believe you, but at the same time, like, there's nothing I could like if I try to believe you more and more, if that makes sense, it's not gonna make it's not gonna lead to any more evidence towards
Yeah,
the truth. You know what I mean? So it's not like tell me, you know what I mean? It's who knows? Everyone, you know, there's something out there. Is what I'm saying. What about ghosts? Any experiences with those?
sadly no, but I do believe in them and spirits, and
Yeah.
I'm open to all that stuff.
Yeah. Me, I have not had either of those experiences, but I'm trying to you can't really prepare for either of those, I guess.
Well, I didn't think that was kind. It just came down one day. Like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Interesting. You've had an interesting life. I appreciate
You're the only one to ask me about that so far. No one else has.
about the
has to-
UFO and the
Yeah.
aliens. Yeah. Well, I asked the hard-hitting important questions. Good stuff all around. Anything else you think that we need to cover or mention or talk about? Got a lot of good stuff. Jason David Frank, Power Rangers and family and filmmaking and projects and what else we need to cover? You're like, I'm good. I'm on Central Time. It's getting late here.
Oh no, I'll be up all night. I barely sleep. So.
I had a feeling you're that type you're that type.
I get creative at night. That's when everything gets going.
Yeah, I get creative at night. I don't necessarily become hardworking, but the brain is the hamster's in the wheel, but the fingers might not be at the computer. that could be hit or miss. But I do appreciate your time. Thank you again. Why don't you tell people where they can find and follow you, plug whatever you want to plug. I'll give you the floor to do those things.
Well, first, thank you for having me. It was
Of
fun,
course.
and I'm glad we got to do Jess's birthday stream too. That was fun.
Yeah, Forest Mommy, Jessica Fancy,
Yeah.
IRL. Mm-hmm.
I love Forest, but she's the best. So just throw a random plug to her, to the everyone in the FMU. They're great people. So just
Yeah, I was like, oh, we're probably gonna either talk about Forest Mommy or Power Rangers, but I know I know a fair amount about Forest Mommy and have talked about her a fair amount online, offline, on podcasts and stuff. And had her.
I still got. Want to see this really quick? Here, check this out. I got her campaign flyer things from when she ran.
Nice, very cool.
And you saw the painting I did for her, right?
Yeah,
I think you were there for that.
What's that?
You were there for that, right? When she opened
I don't know if
it?
I was there, but I did see it, and I went back or I fast forwarded. I did see it. Very cool. That's super cool. But like I was saying, I do know a fair amount about her, and she's super cool. But it was good
I
for
love
me.
her. She's so great.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's fun for me to learn about your passion for the Power Rangers and where all that comes from and whatnot, and it's cool to see how much of a positive influence that they have had on your life and Forest Mommy too. It's like how did you get connected with Forest Mommy again? How did that tie into Power Rangers? You were kind of going to, but I don't know if I got that.
I found her through Chrissy Mayer, and then I was like, "Who is this smart, beautiful, hot woman talking?" And I found her Twitter, and then we started talking since then, and then I joined her Discord, and just the rest is history. And
I think that
she's been cool with me.
Nice. I think that's how I discovered Chrissy, actually, was from when Forest Mommy went on Chrissy's podcast, Simcast, and now I've developed a friendship, acquaintanceship with with Chrissy as well, and that's been fun for me. But oh yeah, tell people where they can find and follow you if you didn't already.
Oh no, I don't, you can find me on my YouTube. Look up Romano Productions or Morphin Origins. I would probably Romano Productions better, right? Like, I mean, is that how you found me?
Yeah, Romano Productions, and looks like youtube.com/@Daniel Romano, like exactly like it sounds, /videos is the page I'm on right now. But yeah, Romano Productions, Daniel Romano, you'll find him. Mm-hmm.
And then my Twitter, you can find, I think it's DRomanoD25 is my Twitter.
That's
but mostly
what I'm seeing here. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then I'm on Rumble too, but I think it's almost the same name there too, but mostly my YouTube. Just follow my YouTube. And that was Romano Productions, and you'll see everything there. And there's more clips to come, and eventually all 3 films, and then the next one I'm working on. And then my other channel is Daniel Romano 560 something. Just it's my name, but you'll see it's a picture of my face. So
nice. Yeah, we got to get all your links up on your Twitter and get all your links organized. We'll work on that next.
Yeah.
Sounds
Either
good.
way, thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you. I was gonna thank you, and I appreciate the time and the stories and everything. And let's definitely talk more soon.
Oh yeah, we'll do this again.
You got it. Have a good night. Peace. So there you have it, episode 154 with Daniel Romano. That was fun. I just appreciate his passion for all things Power Rangers, and I learned a little bit about the series myself. Anyway, for everything about this show, please head to peoplewelovepodcast.com, at People We Love Podcast on Instagram. Please follow at Adam Choit on Instagram and Twitter, adamchoit.com for all my other stuff. And I think that's about all I got for today. I appreciate you guys listening. Thanks as always, and let's talk soon. Peace.